I need to know everything. Who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse. I'm ready for war. I'm coming for ghosts. And turn to a ghost. I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta get quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in talk. If they body another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I cannot play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me. Then I double up again, none of their knows, none of them gold. They just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close. I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke. I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything. Who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but I like it's new what you're telling me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Startup on the Blocks. And we're going to get started here. Glad to have everybody out on Facebook and here on Startup on the Blocks. Andrew, if you would come on board and we'll kind of get started with you first. We are featuring a startup I just met yesterday at 1 Million Cups. Andrew, why don't you introduce yourself and tell, just say who you are and just a brief introduction about what your company does.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. Lloyd, thank you for having me on your program here. I'm glad to talk to everybody. My name is Andrew Schroeder. I'm the founder and owner of 5 Star Culture Company. We are an online marketplace for local businesses that sell products or offer services. We make it easy, affordable, and personable to be a vendor or to shop local small businesses online. So becoming a vendor is $20 a month. You offer your products to be purchased or your schedules to be or your services to be scheduled, excuse me. And if you already have a website, you can link your website to our marketplace to increase your organic SEO. So it really works for the small startup and part-time entrepreneurs that don't have an e-commerce platform and can use us as a full e-commerce platform for themselves. Or if you have your own website, you can drive traffic to your website by linking it, as well as increasing your organic SEO for Google ranking and search engines. Along with becoming a vendor, we provide complimentary social media posts to all of our social media outlets. That includes Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube for videos, and Google My Business. So we kind of try to reach everybody online and bring them to your product or your service through our website. Along with that, we're an advertising and marketing company. So we offer marketing services that includes logo, graphic design, and short video services. Our vendors get discounts on all of those things. So $100 off videos, $50 to $100 off of your logo or graphic design, whatever it is, has a certain discount with it. And other than that, for our large clients, we do custom behavior targeted ads. We're an advertising agency that's partnered with Cox Media, and we provide ads pretty much when you think about something and you start seeing it. Is the type of thing that we do. So that involves SEO, SEM advertising, and works really well to drive your target customer directly to you, whether that's on our site or off of our site. It really works for any website out there. So.
Sounds good, Andrew. I wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about Startup on the Block so you can kind of see why I invited you to come on. So basically here at Startup on the Blocks, we're trying to offer this networking event on a weekly basis so we can connect and meet each other. And then this session here from 7 to 8, we try to do the startup best practices and and we feature startup founders, and we tend to have a guest speaker, or we show a video. But the idea is to make sure people learn the best practices of building their startup. And so some of the things you just talked about actually are pretty key to that. And then also it sounded like your offering was pretty affordable. How does that compare to something like Square Space or something like that?
Well, I haven't done exactly too much. I mean, it's kind of a cross between a couple of different things. So something like GoDaddy, which is a web hosting service where they can create their own website. Now, you are a tech guy yourself, where I myself am not. So that's not something I went for whenever I was thinking of coming up with a company and knew I had to be online. It's very, if you're not technologically savvy, that can be very difficult. You still then have to outsource a lot of, all of your logos and come up with a lot of different things. And so it's pretty much like building your own website. And then the other side of things is things like Amazon, Etsy, and eBay, which are marketplaces where you host your product on somebody else's website. And the problem I had when I had a product and I was looking to bring it online with those was that there are fees for everything. You have a monthly fee, you have an inventory fee, you have a sales fee, you have, there's fees to advertise and even get it, to be on a main page and show in front of they bring a large people to the website, but there's a lot of the small people that get overshadowed.
Okay.
And so I would say it's definitely a cross between those two. And I built it to be for startup and part-time entrepreneurs that wanted to get their product online for local small businesses. I think that that was going to be my niche as far as marketplaces. And along the way, we found that we work very well for the people that even have their own website and already have processes and systems in place. It's very easy to link it, and it helps the other person just as well as us. So it works for everybody.
Okay. Yeah. So that sounds good. And so when I spoke about the best practices for doing the startup, I was thinking about all the services that you offer, the marketing services, that you offer and driving traffic. So let's say, a startup, has a landing page for this product or service that they're building and driving traffic to it, or if they're taking pre-orders for something they're creating, they could potentially use your service as well, it sounds like.
Absolutely. So we have built this website from scratch. It started off with just products. We had people asking how they can offer their services on the website. So we built out the scheduling application part of it. And so we have people that do clothing and different things, and we actually are set up to do back orders. So if somebody is out of product, but it's being ordered, we can definitely set it up to do that. And really just, we're open to helping these small businesses out in any way. So it's something, if we haven't thought about it, we're definitely open ears and minds to incorporating it in with what we do.
Yes. And so I think you are kind of a key person in our ecosystem here to kind of, because typically a founder knows about the product or service that they're building, but they may not know about all the shopping carts, the marketing and driving traffic. And so how did you come to find out about the 1 Million Cups where we met yesterday?
So I believe I had met Patrick Rooney with Collab, I had a meeting with him either right before I officially launched or when I officially launched. So I was very small, and it's something that, he offered, and at the right time got back to it, and worked out very well.
Okay. Yeah. And so what did you think of your experience? And the reason why I'm talking about this 1 million cups, because we want our founders to actually take advantage of that opportunity as well. So if you could just tell them about your experience and what benefit, you think it might help with.
Yeah, so 1 million cups was great, very easy to present. The atmosphere was very welcoming and inviting. And aside from that, you get great help. So when the questions were being asked, they were great questions that I even went back to the drawing board and, had a phone call with our chief technology officer. He does a lot, but, different things. And so it brought me here as well. I think the biggest thing you could do as a startup, which, my business is a startup itself right now, and we are looking to be more of a help in the ecosystem, but you have to take advantage of the resources that people are willing to provide on a volunteer basis. If everybody's ideas help out and help you build your business and help you go in a specific direction.
Yes, so it's so if you go to like 1 million cups slash Pensacola, you'll find the events there, and you can register your startup to present, and it's basically what 6 to 7 minute presentation and 20 minutes of questions and answers.
Yeah, it's a 6-minute presentation. It seemed like about 20 minutes of questions. The application online is very simple, pretty standard: name, email. I think that if you can sign up for Startup on the Blocks, you could just as well sign up for 1 million cups. And again, it's very welcoming and inviting, and the people that are asking the questions and providing the resources and volunteer services really do a great job. So.
Yes, and Marcia was there yesterday, and she's asking, what was your ask of the 1 million cup community yesterday?
My ask for the 1 million cup community, and right now in general, is I am looking for businesses with products or services that are offered local to the Gulf Coast area to become a vendor, so we can start helping out with your reach online through our platform.
Yes, that sounds good. And I remember yesterday they were asking you a lot of questions about local and stuff like that. And so, like, typically with the way your stuff is going with all the SEO and stuff, isn't it? The local people that are on your site are gonna automatically find those shops that are local.
Absolutely. So our SEO is set up for Shop Local Pensacola, and everything's set up for Pensacola. But the way our SEO is built out, we can easily change it to Gulf Coast. So we're still working on finding the right regional or local.
Well, yeah. So what my point was is from my standpoint, I'm crazy about local as well, but the bottom line is, if you're offering a service like you have, I don't see any harm, in folks from Atlanta, New Orleans, Seattle, wherever, using your service, and so then I think if we're scaling out to those communities. So to me, based on what you just said, and I don't know anything about SEO, but it almost so isn't it flexible enough to so you can attract companies in Atlanta to use your service, and also buyers to connect to somebody locally here or whatever?
Absolutely. So, like I said, all of our products and services right now are very local to Pensacola. We have had sales from New Jersey, California. So again, that's the best part of being online is being able to pick up other people that are shopping for different things and have possibly been to Pensacola and liked something and wanted to purchase something. It's a great way for them to come back without actually having to physically uh, come get your product or service.
Well, and Marcia asked another question earlier, and I guess it's what we're talking about here. How does the SEO captures interest from consumers and direct them to the client sites?
So right now we have everything built to go to our main page, and we have all of our vendors on our main page through categories, and everything auto-populates. Everything is actually set to random, so when somebody refreshes to the main page, they're always going to see something different. So we try to drive our traffic to our website, which then drives them to yours. Now, SEO wise, our food and drink page comes up, before our main page. So it really depends on what people are shopping and what kind of tags are out there and what people are using most. So it really changes on a day-to-day basis. But because we're set up for products and services, we get people come into our website and, off of Google reports for tree services, anything that's local to Pensacola. So we're looking to build our community to offer really anything that people are looking for so we can keep people coming back that are interested in local products and services.
Okay, that sounds good. The so I guess let's see. Um, yeah, so people are saying they love the concept and everything. I'm looking at some of the links there, and um,
And I have to say, some of these SEO questions, I apologize. I don't have my chief technology officer and partner on the call with me because these are things that he could probably much more
yeah,
easily.
yeah, that's no, yeah,
Explanation.
yeah, and don't sweat that at all. So
Hey,
and
out
when
with SEO though.
yeah, and so if and also if you would post a link to your website into the chat as well. But I think the key concept is there's two things. So we have local companies, and we want people them to do business here locally, but we also want in some cases they may want to um, uh, well, I guess my point really is if you were going to expand your service, you know, how do you get? I'm not talking about your clients. I'm talking your local clients. I'm talking about how do you get clients in California or whatever. Have you all designed your stuff where you can actually it can scale out, to other areas?
Absolutely. So that's one of the things we can pretty much copy and replicate everything we're doing. We've coded everything from scratch, so we can pretty much replicate that for other areas. And that's one of the things that we did build this to, move to the next region, which may be Mobile to Mississippi, or if California is a great viable option, this is something that we can do that, whether it all links back to the main site, or
Yes.
whether somebody wants to use their own domain and have the build out that we have and already use kind of the processes and systems. So along with our website, we make sure that all of our vendors are protected just as much as our company is. So our terms and agreements are made for our vendors that each shop has its own policies. So if you have a no return policy, whatever your specific store offers, it is your store, and your web page on our site is still your own shop. It's your own store.
Gotcha. That sounds good. So, tell us a little bit about your journey into this business. How how did you come up with the idea and kind of get it started?
Absolutely. I was in the restaurant industry working quite a bit, and I figured that I could use that same time and do something for myself. So I had a friend that had a t-shirt company. To me, it seemed to have dissipated because they didn't offer their products online.
Okay.
So friends and family, it seemed to reach its limit.
Okay.
So they weren't getting any more reoccurring sales after that. So I knew that, if I offered a product, I would have to be online. So I researched creating my own website, which is very expensive or can be very expensive depending on what you want. Everybody charges something different, but it usually starts with at least $1,000 uh, deposit and then monthly fees. So I figured if I was selling a t-shirt, uh, for the startup, being a startup and not having a huge budget, that didn't make sense to me. So I then searched how I could host my product on a marketplace. I then Googled eBay, Amazon, and Etsy fees, which brings you to a page that just you can keep scrolling down and you're like, I didn't even know that was a function I would have to pay for there, or that even existed or that I would use. So I got with my partner, who was a good friend, and we talked about the idea and how we could make it happen. From then, he started working on building the website and the idea from scratch. And along the way, I gave him part of the company for doing such a great job. He was not only handling the website, but all of the graphic design I needed. And he seemed to handle everything great. He's a webmaster from UWF, so very, very smart, very, very tech savvy, and he has a background in e-commerce. So it
Good.
seemed to work out great. We partnered together, built the website. It took about 2 years, getting everything in place from terms and agreements to whatever it was. We officially launched in June of 2019 through the Pensacola Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we had about 30 vendors. COVID hit, we lost over half of our vendors, and right now we are trying to add to our website so we can start driving more traffic to our site through paid advertisement.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, that sounds the bottom line, and I think for the playbook point there is you weren't technical, but you wanted to have a e-commerce website. So and then when you started researching all the different options out there, you found that it was pretty expensive, and so I'm guessing your the light bulb came on. You said, well, maybe I can create something that's less expensive and get a niche in the marketplace.
So that brings us to what we're built for, to be easy, affordable, and personable for our vendors and customers to shop local or sell their products and services.
So, what yesterday you mentioned that you all host the shopping carts for the nonprofits for free. What gave you that idea?
So our nonprofits on our website, we give a business membership for free,
Mm-hmm.
and we do charge a processing fee if they host a product that
Yeah.
sells to our
Okay.
website. Now,
Yeah.
if it's sold off of our website, because we can, if they have their own website, we can link it to ours. So if they go off site, we're not reaching in anybody's pocket. However, nonprofits, we wanted a way to give back.
Okay.
So before we, were making money, we figured we could offer our services to nonprofits for free because they're always giving back to the community themselves.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds really good. Yeah. And so as we progress on with startups on the blocks, we want to explore ways to partner with you ourselves, and because I think from a startup standpoint, I think it the $20 a month is for hosting that shopping cart is pretty good. Now, so like you said that you all use Stripe. Do you all order? So like so does your client have a Stripe account, or how do you all do that?
Correct. So the way it works out, you host your product. When it sells, we process that transaction, and then we transfer that money into Stripe, and then we send you our vendor their commission through Stripe.
Okay.
It is absolutely free for both of us, both myself as well as the client, and then they can use Stripe to direct deposit into any bank account.
Yeah. So does that mean they have to have a Stripe account?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I'm
thinking. They have to have a Stripe account, and we have all of that linked on the back end of their site, so it's very easy to click the link and create their Stripe account.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's I think that's why Stripe is so popular.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, and so like just so I always wondered, Stripe is really popular, and are they popular because they do charge a fee for processing your payments, like like the normal MasterCard or Visa stuff, but if am I right? Do they also hold your money for a week and just pay out every week, once a week? Is that what you understand?
So we pretty much the way it works is it's an automatic transaction. When we send it, they receive it, and they can set it up for direct deposit. They can transfer it right then on the spot.
Yeah.
So it works out that way. And they do have a platform very similar to, I think, Square and PayPal for actually processing transactions. However, we use our own merchant. We have our own merchant account for processing credit cards. So
wow,
then
okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, we process the transaction, and that money is deposited into the Stripe account.
Oh, so they don't actually do your processing. Okay, I got you.
So that is the only way we're able to be as affordable as we are, is to make sure that we're doing everything in-house, from synchronizing USPS to every page through our accounts, processing transactions. So right now we're pretty much working on building up our Stripe account to where we can transfer any kind of commissions instantly when products are sold. So
okay, fantastic. Yeah,
we do the most we can to make sure that our vendors get everything that they're entitled to, their hard-earned money.
Yeah, that's so sounds like you are definitely on top of it. So like I think so are there any more questions in the audience as we get close to wrapping up here? So it looks like Lloyd Jr. posted your website in the chat there. So I'm trying to see. Yeah, and so I guess Marcia and Angela was talking about, could this be franchise?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. That's one of our main goals. It's just me and my partner doing everything. So I think to take over other regions and use this in different areas, you need more people. You can't do everything yourself. So absolutely, this is something that could be franchised.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten there yet, but we would love to talk to whoever's interested about it.
Yeah, and I kind of think I think what I think in this type of industry, I think what in the software industry, they don't tend to do necessarily franchises like this. They tend to do what they call white label or a turnkey thing, where somebody else can actually use your tech, but it's branded with their name on it. So they call it a white label or turnkey approach as opposed to a franchise.
That may be something that I'll have to get up with you about and kind of get a little more of an understanding with at a later date.
Yeah, so all it really means is let's say your software stack and your product, instead of a branded 5-star culture, it would be branded whatever the name of whoever does it, and that's what it is. And so, to be honest, what the way you would do that is pretty straightforward. Is if you build your you can actually build your thing out in the cloud and then actually sell it in the cloud where people can actually use your instantiate your software stack and brand it the way they want to, and that's the way the cloud would work with that. And so it's pretty it's a way that you can actually make money as well. Yeah, but if you wanted to continue to do the whole thing yourself, you would just make sure your cloud architecture could handle all the scaling and scaling out to all the different things yourself. So you got several different options, but you can definitely make money selling a white label thing as well.
Absolutely.
All righty. Well, we'll wrap it up, and I guess we'll, if you want to hold on just a second till Didi comes up. Didi, if you would turn your mic on, I guess I can introduce you all and your camera on. And she may have some ideas too. She's a founder.
Hi.
Hey, Didi.
How are you guys?
All right. Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know if you heard any of that. Andrew,
Yes.
did you get any ideas from him sharing his business there?
I definitely think white labeling would be a great idea because you can definitely it's a good way for you to expand at the same time, and you have many communities that could actually apply that. So you could be like the hub for all communities who may need a service like you're providing, and they don't have to worry about starting from scratch. You can just go to those local small communities and just, say, hey, I have it for you. All you have to do is plug and play. And then what you can do is, make your marketplace from that, because now you have different branches underneath your platform. So maybe a good idea.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's good.
I'll definitely check you out. I have some journals I'm putting together. Let me show you my little journal that I'm working on that I'm going to post. So I'm going to find you because I was looking for a source to do a quick selling of some merchandise that I have for my company. So yeah, we'll get together soon.
Excellent. I'd love to learn more.
Absolutely. Nice chatting with you.
Yeah, and so the point here is I tell people, networking is so important, and the weekly Startup on the Block events is to help people network and connect, and it's really that simple,
Yeah.
In less than a minute, you all made a connection, and,
That's right.
Yeah. But that's why in that first hour from 6 to 7, we do the networking so people can actually connect and introduce themselves and learn what each other are offering and help each other grow.
Well, I will be back.
All righty. Well, we look forward to working with you, Andrew, and you're welcome to wait backstage with your mic and stuff off, or you can go in the event. But we definitely appreciate you coming on. All right. Well, wait a minute, Didi, why don't you kind of tell them a little bit about what you do? Well, you can listen in just for a minute, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch.
All righty. So you can go ahead and click off, Andrew. All righty. So welcome back, Didi.
Hey, Lloyd.
So this startup stuff is so confusing. So I all these different programs and opportunities and so it's some of these programs are hard to understand. So that's why I kind of invited you back, and just so you can keep sharing your experience, so other folks can actually see how their journey might take a similar path or not. So I think that's kind of the key thing. So it was back in September, or I don't remember what date you were on last, but what have you been up to all that time? Months?
I've been busy. Thank you again for having me back. I love sharing my journey with our Pensacola community. It's an important part of the process to stop and kind of like take a collection of things that you've done so that others can learn from your mistakes or your successes. So since we talked last, I just received the Black Founder Fund grant from Google, and I was really underway to try to figure out what was the best use of the funding to help me kind of branch out and even build different verticals to maybe secure the future of the startup during these like turbulent times. And so I started working on my tech, basically building it out so that I could start bringing our planning community together. For those who haven't got the chance to see me before, my task is a planning platform that supports curation and community so that we can highlight what is important for parents and or businesses to plan when they don't have the experience. And so my goal is to automate planning and personal planning and project management for the culture, because it really doesn't serve us well if we are constantly trying to plan things and miss the mark. So I have experience doing a lot of that with my professional career, and now I want to bring that skill set to the everyday person. So
Fantastic,
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah. And so, so that's good. And you mentioned the word grant, and you know you had just received that grant the last time we talked. And I think it's hard for a lot of founders who are not knowledgeable about the ecosystem to believe somebody would just give you a grant or something. But also, I want you to tell what led up to you getting in that grant. What was basically the process that led up to that?
So in 2018, I was selected for the Google for Startups Black Founders Exchange through American Underground in Durham, North Carolina. And that was basically the launching of me really understanding how to build a technology company. I first had the expertise as a project manager building PMOs all over this global continent. Like that was a real thing that I love to do. And as I was trying to figure out how to utilize this MVP that I just built, I was able to get accepted to the program and learn so much within that week. And that community lasted every year. So as an alumni, we have programming every year that basically helps us with our milestones, make sure that we reach our milestones. But as we grew in our organization, Google, decided to do some more funding. And so with being in that community, we were able to apply for this non-diluted funding. Non-diluted meaning we don't have to bring up or give up any control or shares of our company, which is so vital when you're starting out, because you're still kind of, or for me even, still kind of in the discovery phase. And it's important to have at least most of that worked out before you think about bringing in investors. And so I applied, and I put my heart and soul in that application. It took it was like three or four questions that they asked us, but I basically wrote a dissertation about why it was important for them to pick me. And I think when you think about these applications, you're on the other side as someone who doesn't know you. And so you have to like think about your characteristics and those very important things that will make them remember you. And so I basically asked, you always have to make the ask when you write the application, not just to say, this is my company, this is what my company does, but you have to say, pick me. And so when you get to those applications, that would be my advice. And so it was, maybe 300 or 400 of us in the community. They only selected about 75 of us. And from that moment was, it was such an exciting time. And it was from the work that I had put in and just being involved in the community, coming back to like you said, bringing the startups on the block, showing up, being there, like sometimes if you show up, people will remember you and think, oh yeah, they're always committed. They help support the group. And those things matter because, when you're in a startup community, or if you're trying to build something new that's innovative and people may not understand exactly what you're trying to do yet, that community really supports and launches you. So it's just really about showing up. And that's what I did. And I asked. So
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So one of the things you said was about that application, and what we found over the past few weeks was that we were doing, we started paying attention to what they were doing with the startup school.
mhm.
And,
Yeah.
and so I was listening to one of the videos, and the guy said, we even have a thing that tells you how to respond to the application question to get your idea of the thing. And I said, well, and to tell you how to answer the question. So it was pretty amazing, all the resources that are out there to help you figure out. Because I know a lot of times, I filled out so many applications, and
Yeah.
I really didn't know what they were asking and how to answer it. And so all the time there was this link over there I could have clicked.
They do have right. It's a great school.
Yeah,
They have lots of resources, and they make it so easy for you to not have to go through a lot of tons of searching on Google for more information.
yes. And I don't want to forget this. Some of us out there, and for those of you who haven't, the startup school, which is from the Y Combinator, they had this program called Future Founders, and I don't know if you had heard of it.
I have. Yeah.
So that's good. And then I guess yesterday or the day before, they suggested that you join their regular startup school, but they were doing this builders thing starting on the 15th of this month. And it was, so if you were, so you can actually, is working on your product or service. So I guess over this 4-week period, you're going to try to reach a milestone or something.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah, and so those of you out there that are, I think I put the link in the email I sent out, and it's also should be below the screen. Is that I don't know if maybe let me just
don't forget to do that one. That's an important one, Lloyd.
Well, let me. I'll just. I think I got the link right here, so I'll just paste it. So with Startup on the Blocks, I had this idea, and for those out there on Facebook or whoever hear me, so we just got some AI software that we can build. I guess deploy it, using containers. And the good news is that you don't have to be a programmer to use it. So, but in order to make it more user friendly, I'm thinking about entering that builders thing to kind of build some front ends to, graphical user interfaces for it, so people can actually, our startups and our cohorts can actually use it, and people who want to learn how to do AI stuff can
reach out to me, because I'm definitely preparing myself for that. It's part of the process. AI requires so much data from what I'm trying to achieve anyway. To automate, but it's definitely a great tool, and the fact that you were able to test it out on some real use cases, I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, but I think the youth, and so leveraging that Y Combinator thing and teaming up with some. So if there are any developers in the audience that want to maybe get on the team with me to kind of do that, because what the idea is so so you can, this particular piece of software, it's just in the format is now, it's what's called a console app, but you can actually build a GUI for it, and you can serve it up to train neural networks, test neural networks, do inferencing on neural networks, and also generate the code for the neural network. And so the idea is that what I need is I need some developers to help, build a bike in, let's say on Azure or AWS or Google or something to accept, so we can have the account for the users and stuff like that. Other than that, we'll just be logging in through the VPN. But the deal is, I think it'd be a good opportunity to take advantage of that 4-week program. And the result is people who are in our community here and people who want to learn AI, we let people train on that for free.
Yeah.
But for our startups, like that are in our program, we let them use it as well and build the AI stuff, and so that they can deploy to their cloud website, desktop, or whatever they want to do, and it doesn't have to be tied to any particular cloud thing. So that's
that's true.
so if anybody developer, if you're any developer,
the milestones help you too. Definitely keep you on track.
Well, maybe you can come on board to be the project manager, keep us on track.
I will. I will.
Yeah. So that's kind of neat. And so I was looking at the video, right after you were on last time, and I took that clip out about that Wakanda effect. That was pretty cute.
Yes, I love that. Actually, I posted it on my social media too, because I think that was my favorite part of the movie, was to see technology being used. And that's what makes, when I think about how technology needs to be more diverse, and we're speaking of Black History Month, more Black people in general should consider technology as a way to express our creativity, to express or solve problems that are important to us. Because a lot of times, no one maybe pays attention to the problems that we have. However, we are empowered to do so through technology. And when I saw that, in Wakanda, they were innovating, it was the most exciting. It was so motivating to see it. I was excited, and I was like, yes, that's right. Motivate, and it's going to take a community of us to do that and stick with it, because it is a journey. So Lord and I have been around for a little while. We've been hanging in there, but we need more,
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so I just pasted. You were talking about Black History Month, so Apple sent out an email a day or so ago about all the stuff they're doing to support, this equal justice initiative, and it's just tons of stuff. But if you dig real deep, I just posted a link of the program they have for called Entrepreneur Camp. And it's for a whole year, in what I understand. And
that's awesome.
their engineers work with you to help you build whatever you're trying to build. So it's really, really, really neat.
I mean, people will help you if you ask them, right? You just got to show up.
Yeah. So did you get a chance to see the $2 million pitch competition back in December?
No, December was a busy month.
Yeah, so I think it was around December 3rd, and that
for
was
the Rise of the Rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
First prize was $1 million. Second prize was 500,000.
I heard about it in my other communities that I'm in. I think one of them was a Google for Startup member.
Yes, and so what I noticed from those people that participated, I think definitely some of them had came out of Google startup stuff, and I saw some that had came out of the Kansas City startup stuff, and saw some that came out of the Morgan Stanley Accelerator program. And so to me, it was just a journey for them, and it was nice to hear some of them talked about how the Google engineers or some, from these big companies help them build out their solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the Apple one. It seems like a great support system.
Yes.
The more support you have, the better.
Yeah. And so I didn't want to forget, you're a family, a mom, and everything, and so you're bouncing a lot of balls, and some of our founders have are parents or female parents, and they're struggling with balancing their startup stuff, and their family, and some of them may even have a job. So could you kind of talk about your experiences with that a little bit?
Oh, one of my favorite subjects to talk about. So when you're in the startup journey, it could feel so lonely. First, to get support even from family, and then to like stay in it and be consistent with it. And I really didn't have I didn't hear many of those stories, people really talking about the real deal of what was happening. And so I created a podcast called the Girl DD Podcast, and it's on every, Apple Podcasts, it's everywhere. It's GURLDEDE. And it's really my journey, but journeys of other startup founders. I interviewed my husband, I call the startup spouse, and my kids, the startup kids, because they're impacted by my decision to follow this journey. And I had to recognize that was a big part of it, is how do you get support from family because of the commitment. And it's really my journey, but journeys of other startup founders. I interviewed my husband, I call the startup spouse, and my kids, the startup kids, because sorry, I started hearing a lot of background noise. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I really have a heart for female founders, especially who are considering taking the journey of building a business with the family. And it is not easy. It's not easy because there's guilt associated with the role of what a woman is supposed to be. A woman are, expected to have dinner ready. In most situations, dinner ready. Maybe they're working a full-time job, and then at night they work. And so for me, even as I was committed to this, talking to my husband and my kids first was the most important thing. It's not always fun, and it doesn't always make sense when you're busy and you're on calls and you're doing all these other things, and your family is knocking at the door saying, come on, come on. And that's a part of the deal. But and I would love for you guys to listen to the journey especially with my husband and my kids from their perspective, because they really shared with me how it felt. But their thought is that, we all have a purpose to fulfill, regardless of your sex, color, creed, whatever. We are on this earth to fulfill that purpose. And if someone is getting in the way of that, like, as my husband would say, when you go up to the heavenly gates, you're going to have to answer to God for that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to empower every mom that, you have support. There's so many communities that are out there that you can join to keep you on target, because your idea, well, it'll evolve. It'll continue to get better. There'll be some naysayers. There'll be, with trying to make it to the other side, it's a hill to climb. But on the top of that hill is where people who are waiting for you to solve a problem that they've been having is solved, is so much more rewarding. So I encourage you all to continue on your journey and never give up. And you have to just communicate. This is important. This is something that I have to fulfill, or at least try. Even if I fail, I tried, and I at least put out there this problem so that someone else can take notice of it and help try to bring attention to getting, some of these issues resolved. So that's my story. So yeah, check out the podcast. And Bantucola, I work with Grafted Vine Media with Chris Hendricks. He's the engineer. And so another Pensacola company that the show, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you would post a link to your podcast or the title so they could actually search for it. Yeah, and we definitely think Bantucola, Chris, they stream our Startup on the Blocks to Facebook, and help get the word out to the audience that can't log on. But I think some good news is probably by sometime early next month, Hopin will have a mobile app, and so people can actually use their phone to network with the mobile app, and And so
Mm-hmm.
when we go back with live events, so people still can connect and network,
That's
with
good.
with people online. So I think it's a step forward. Yes. So any tips or anything that you seen over the past few months in your startup communities and so that you want to share with us?
Definitely. There is an application for the Atlanta Black Founders Academy. And it's for minorities, it's for veterans, um, and yeah, minorities and veterans, I say it would be a category, but it is listed under the Google for Startups webpage. I'll
Okay.
find it, Lloyd, and send it to you. The application is due on February 9th, and I'm
Yeah,
happy to make a
that's sweet.
recommendation.
Yeah, I got the Google for Startup link. I just posted that, but what was the name of it again?
Founders
The,
Academy, yeah, the Black Founders Academy.
so
It's
it's
a,
Atlanta.
it's the Atlanta Founders Academy.
Okay, Atlanta Founders Academy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't get the link, just Google it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, when you Google it, you'll see Jewel Burks up there somewhere. But yeah, it's the program is I think about 12 weeks. It's remote and virtual. So even for busy moms who are working a full-time job, you can still make time to be involved in the program in the evenings. They have basically will help you set your milestones up. They also will bring in different experts to talk about things that matter in your business. So I would definitely recommend applying for that.
So is that one you participated in the past?
No, I didn't do the Atlanta Founders Academy.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
I have several friends that graduated from it that's been in my community. I hadn't considered doing it at this point. However, because I'm trying to get my panoptic planner out, so I'm just really just doing the work
So
right
yeah. So you're still doing the Pantap. How do you pronounce it? Pantap.
now. Panoptic, yes, the
Panoptic.
panoptic, yeah.
So, so you're still, so you're still working on that as well as the My Task?
Yeah, actually, I realized that planning is hard for people. Managing
Hmm.
planning is even harder. That's
Hmm.
not something we learn in school. So my goal was to start them off with the journal, and that's why I went ahead and created this My Task Manager Planning Like a Boss.
Okay.
It's an inspiration, but basically you're writing your ideas down, writing your goals and ideas down. And usually when you write things down, it's a good start to manifesting your dreams. And then moving them on to the Panoptic Planner, which is a step-by-step guide. It's a holistic view of what things are in your life. So you have core areas, whether it's your personal, your professional, any organization or church affiliation that you're planning for, and then your like bucket list of goals that you would like to see, but you see them in one view and you're able to see where the balance or misbalance is each quarter. And so my goal is to take you from learning what you have to plan in your life to actually the step-by-step guide to breaking those ideas and prioritizing those ideas into something actionable. And by that, hopefully when we make it to the technology, then you'll be able to go in really quick and actually use the technology easier. And that was one of my problems with project management software that I was using, is that if you don't understand project management, that sometimes the solution is hard to use. So I just
Yes.
want to make project management fun and easy and just bring a community along with it. That's why I did it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull this team together for this builders thing, and I think we definitely want to get you on the team with some developers, and so you can kind of see it built, and of course you will be able to get access to the tool as well.
Yes, I got
Yeah.
some use cases for you.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So I guess I'll get ready to close out. We have about a minute left, and so I just want to remind everybody, there are a lot of resources out there to help start us, but you do have to do your due diligence. You do have to connect with your customers, and so leveraging the resources. It's all about cutting your costs and getting the information to kind of move forward with your startup. And so I think that's really key. So people hear me talk about taking advantage of these programs and taking advantage of the software, free software that you can get. And it's all for a reason, just so you don't have to, while you're building your product or service, you're letting Google, Microsoft, and these companies, provide you the service to help you along. And what they're hoping for is that, once you do become successful, that you continue to use their platform. So, but it's a nice resource to have. Yeah. And so that's kind of what you do. So all of our founders out there, participate in the cohort. So get all your stuff done, and so we can move you all forward and get you closer and get you ready for some of these programs and get you prepared to move forward. Thanks, Dee Dee. We really appreciate you stopping by to help us out. And we'll be chatting with you soon.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.